Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scandal Sheet. My name is Thad Helsley, and today we are celebrating the 50th birthday of one of the best known, influential, and successful movies of all time. And that movie is the perennial summer favorite, Jaws. Now, what is so scandalous about being one of the greatest movies of all time? We're going to get to that. And to help me pursue this fantastic story, I am joined by my amazing co-host, Anurada. Anurada, how are you?
I'm doing well, Thad. I'm excited to be talking about this movie. Even though it's a little bit before my time, I did watch it. So,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I
Yeah,
watched it a long
it
time
is
ago.
very much before your time, like almost 20 years, I think. Yes.
Yeah. I watched it when I was 9,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was some
Yeah,
crazy
well,
shit.
that's the miracle of cable is that it lives forever. It's like the Godfather movies. But anyways, and we are delighted to again welcome back our friend John Hoekstra. Now, John Hoekstra is the composer for most of the music on this pod, and he's also appeared several times as both a guest and in the dramatic vignettes that we do in our cold opens. He's made many appearances there. So, welcome back to the pod, John.
Yay!
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Does this get me closer to like my statute of limitations where you can't blackmail me for the dirt from my youth now? Or like it's one more episode,
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about blackmail is that it never ends, right? Because no matter what you promise, it's like, okay, look, if you give me $1 million, I'll never say anything. And then next month, it's like, okay, one more time.
The gift
I'm
that
going to tell you, tell everybody about you and that pony down at the stable. But
hey, I was in high school, okay? Give me a break, all right?
Yeah, I was pledging a fraternity. Right, right.
Yeah, it was only like most of the bottle of rum. It wasn't the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, all right, here we go.
So first, I just want to ask you how you guys. So here we are in the middle of this unbelievably wickedly hot summer. How are you guys enjoying it?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're in Maine,
yeah.
So this is like the best time of the year for you, right?
Yes.
I mean, because you can actually go outside now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Unlike
crazy.
DC. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Anurada and I, it's just like every day is like the surface of the sun or something. So
it's annoying. Like literally, I finally have my deck.
Oh yeah, that took
set
about
up.
3 years to make, right?
Yeah, it took freaking forever because the contractor's like, oh yeah, it'll be done next month. And then next month comes and he's like, psych! Next month. It took freaking forever. Finally, we're here. And now the freaking sun is too hot. I can't even be out there for too long. You know, I mean, I still go out there, but
well,
very hot.
September will come and then you can start grilling again. But
I know. I'm going to start my summer grilling in like August or September.
Yeah, right. And of course, no episode of Scandal Sheet would be complete without our artificial intelligence engine, Bernice. Bernice, I hope your summer is going jawsome. Okay, so little tip hat. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the podcast, Bernice. One more time. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the podcast, Bernice. Lisa, what's that, Bernice? Boom. Okay, another bad joke. Okay. No more shark puns, I promise. Anurada and Joe, before we discuss why Jaws is the most unlikely blockbuster in movie history.
Say John.
Oh, that's okay. I'll be Joe. You can call me. You can call me Joe today. I'll be.
No. I should have gone through the script and done a search.
Just do Control F.
Yeah. Okay, no more shark puns, I promise. Anurada and John, before we discuss why Jaws is the most unlikely blockbuster in movie history, I thought you two could share your own little anecdotes about your experience with this movie. Anurada, you go first.
So basically, I watched this movie when I was way too young because I wanted to bond with my siblings.
Well, you said you were 9. That does seem pretty young.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And
this is a very gory movie.
that's what I'm saying. So
Okay.
so I am from a very sheltered family, and we really don't watch, like, you know, stuff, but I feel like we're more sheltered towards like more sexual things rather than violence. I feel like violence isn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
I mean, we still were sheltered from it, but it wasn't
People
like
being eaten by sharks is okay, but if somebody shows like a bra strap, that's a no-no.
no, no, but it's like, I don't know, like it was
Oh
still a
no,
big deal,
I
but not
totally
as
get it.
crazy. You know
I
what I
totally
mean?
get it. Yeah, you're. I mean, it's. I grew up like in a Catholic household, so I know exactly that kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that.
Because, because like as a girl, you know what I mean. Like they don't want to, you don't want to see like really sexual things at a very young age. That was kind of like the thing. But with like this movie, I remember I really wanted to like hang out with my siblings, do something cool. So we watched it, and I remember after that, because it was Kenya, we were all really young. People started making shit up, so they would be like, oh yeah, like so and so, like in school, they'd be like, yeah, so and so went to the beach this summer, and they never came back. They got eaten. Like people just literally started making shit up. And in Kenya, like where the ocean area is, there's a huge coral reef, so sharks actually can't come out to like where you are. Like you have to really go beyond the coral to even see anything. So I remember we were like kind of scared for a little bit, especially in dark water. You know what I mean? Even now, like if I swim, like I don't think I would ever swim in the middle of the night, like in like a pool. Not because I think there's a shark coming, but maybe because I think there's a shark coming. You know what I mean? Like you don't know,
It does
so
seem, yeah. I mean, there's no lifeguards, there's no anything. I mean, that girl just jumping in there naked. I don't know. I don't know. You know.
exactly. Like it's I think the mind boggling, like what is in there, you know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, even now I would not swim at night if a pool was not lit up. If a pool was pitch dark, I would not swim at night.
So, when you're watching an American-made movie in Kenya, do they dub it? Do they subtitle it? Is it in Swahili? I mean, what?
No, 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 no. Yeah, no,
It's
it's
in
just in
English.
English. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's just in English, but a lot of the movies were like um from the BBC channel,
Mm,
so the British Broadcasting Channel. So like it was cool, I don't remember a ton, but I do remember certain scenes, that kind of stuck with me. And of course there were certain scenes, like if it, in back in that time, if there would be nudity or whatever like that, we would like shut our eyes and that kind of thing, cuz, sheltered, but I think it
hmm
was very common, like for that time, for a lot of Indian kids to have to shut their eyes during things like that. So
mm,
I was one of them.
okay. Okay. And remember, headroom, headroom, headroom.
Oh,
Yeah. How about you, John?
Uh, I saw it when it first came out. I remember I went to the theater with my older sister, Kathy, and
Kathy.
yeah, and it was it was really two the two bit the what number one, it scared the hell out of me, like it did everybody in the theater,
Right.
especially when Ben Gardner's head comes out of the hole in that hole in the hull of the boat, that
That
scene.
was the scream shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was so, I mean, even though you knew something was going to happen, it was like, dude, you're literally going to go into the water at night, you know,
Yeah.
when there's a big bite taken out of, it's like, no, everybody's like screaming, no.
no, stupid.
It's like, don't go into the basement of the haunted house,
Yeah, exactly.
But
Uh,
the other thing was just, as somebody, I don't think that I would have wanted to write music or even attempt writing music if it had not been for that movie, because it was just to see that the way the language of the music worked with the language of the visuals, that was it. It was like it was like injecting the syringe into the vein, and pushing the plunger. That was it for me. I would never, I think, maybe I would have just like maybe try to do some, like a few piano pieces or anything, but I would never have become fascinated with, the art of writing music for, cinema or for visuals.
Mm-hmm.
So that was your nirvana, like ah.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
cool.
That was the bug right there.
Yeah, well, that's similar for me. I mean, that's what convinced me to go into filmmaking because it was right after that I started making films. I was in 5th grade, I think. Yeah, and borrowed a Super 8 movie camera from one of my friends' dads. That was like a coach for a junior high school football team or something like that. So that's what did it for me. So, Bernice, before we get started, Bernice, could you give us a little background on Jaws? So that's going to be some exposition. I'm sure you guys are all aware of it, but just so we don't have to do it. Okay, so we've got these stupid producers that spend their last dollar to make a shark monster movie. So we're off to a great start. On your let's start with the director. Of course, everybody knows Steven Spielberg today, but in 1974, he was a nobody with very little experience. So he was a strange choice, huh?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, Spielberg actually initially turned down Jaws because he thought it was too
Ah,
similar to this TV movie he made called Duel about a
right.
guy in a truck chasing a man in a car on the
Mm-hmm.
highway in the desert. Because, this is exactly the same damn thing. No, I can't because I'm already making a movie about a man chasing a man. I can't do a shark chasing a man. Come on. Like, that's where we draw the line. But
He
but the
didn't want to be
stu-
typecast, I guess, right? Maybe he wanted to
he
do a rom-com instead. I don't know,
he he does movies about people chasing people. Didn't he do that Russell Crowe movie where Russell Crowe's like crazy? Did he
No,
do
that was
that?
Ron. That
No.
was Ron Howard. Beautiful Minds.
No,
You
no,
mean
no.
the one
It's
about John Nash?
No, it's like this. It's kind of new, kind of not. It's about Russell Crowe and like he just like someone does
Oh, that.
something
No, he didn't do
to
that
him
one.
on the highway and
No,
then he just like starts
I know
following
people
that guy.
who've had the horns disconnected from their cars after watching that movie. That's a different thing. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just
Actually, the movie he wanted to do and they wouldn't let him do it. The movie he was trying to get for Universal was nobody remembers it anymore. It was called Lucky Lady. And it took
Oh,
place
damn.
during bootleggers during Prohibition. And it was a rom com. Liza Minnelli at her sexiest was the main girl. And then Burt Reynolds and Gene Hackman were, so it was like a 3-way kind of a thing. And they ran a boat and, they were rum runners and stuff like that. Completely forgettable movie, but that's what he wanted to do. And they said, no, Steve, we're putting you in Jaws because no one else would do Jaws because it was a monster movie, right? And no director with prestige would take the project because they thought it was
That's
just going to
so
be
wild.
a
So
stupid
they're basically
movie.
like, yeah, you do it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. Let's let the kid do it and let's just get this thing off the shelf. So, anyways,
So I guess I'll kind of take that back then. So he
yeah,
didn't make that Russell Crowe movie, but so basically, the studio had him under contract and actually forced him to do Jaws. So
yeah,
now at the
right,
time,
yeah,
many Hollywood insiders considered him to be a filmmaking prodigy. He had showed some sort of promise. But whether a prodigy or not, he had never actually directed a film of this size, scope, and budget. So he was kind of still, a little shaver, a little tyke, a little guppy, if you will. But it was sort of like let's send this professional Call of Duty player in for war and see how he does. You know what I mean? But you
right.
know what? I admired their belief in him. And I admired that he took up this challenge because he did a good job. I think so.
Okay. So, John, I mean, I know you're not you're more a film composer than a film director, but would you take on a project of this size at 24?
I was no, I wouldn't have done it. I don't think so. You
John's
know,
like he's crazy.
and the logistics, and I mean, he was incredibly ambitious. to undertake this. Now he did. I mean, he did Sugarland Express.
He
Uh,
did.
was it a year or two before? Like a year before?
Right.
Um, but I think it was
But that was
just
two people in a police car, right? Being
yeah,
or two people in a car being chased by the police on
yeah.
a road. So again, it's
That's
just like I just like to do movies about people being chased on the highway.
But I draw the line when a shark is chasing someone in water.
yeah.
That's too similar.
No biting, no biting.
But
That's what my girlfriend always says. No biting.
that was another one of those situations where it was like his youth, and I don't know if I want to say naivete or whatever, but his outlook on it, this ambition to shoot on the ocean and not in a back lot, not in like a swimming pool. They did do some shots in a back lot and swimming pool, but to shoot the majority, in the open Atlantic was incredibly ambitious,
Mhm.
and fraught with its own problems that wouldn't have
Mhm.
happened if it had been like an older, more seasoned director. They would have just gone with a studio in a back lot, you know. They
Yeah.
wouldn't have. They wouldn't have said, "What? Film on open water? You got to be kidding me!" You know, forget it. Yeah, I'm not going to
Right.
try that. And not Steven. Man, he wanted that authenticity.
Oh, Steven.
Yeah. And in Anuada, you probably don't know this, but John and I and a few other kids in high school made a feature length movie. And even though we were in it a little bit ourselves, most of the people in it, 90% of the stuff, were adult actors from like the local community theater and dinner theater and stuff like that. And it won an award for best student film at the Chicago International Film Festival that year.
That's
So
crazy.
so that
I didn't
and
know
that
that.
sort
That's
of
awesome.
seemed at the time that seemed pretty crazy when we did that. Would you say, John? I mean, and it took a
Yeah.
lot longer than we thought. We thought we could shoot it in the summer, and it took about a year to do.
It
So
went it went like Jaws. It went over budget. It went over budget, and it went over schedule
yeah, yeah, and it wasn't on
by
the open ocean, but I
by
mean, there
a
were
year
a
and a
lot of
half or something.
there were people shooting guns, so there was
Yeah.
there were some things. Anyways,
That's wild.
Anurata, the next problem was that there really was no script,
Mhm.
at least not one that anyone liked, and then they still went into production anyway. So it's. I mean, you're an actress; you've been in a lot of things. It's kind of tough to make a movie without a script, isn't it?
I mean, unless you're an improv genius like this gal.
Like,
Just kidding. I kid. I
true,
kid.
true. Thank
But
God for this podcast. Yeah.
thank God. um, well, actually, the author of the best-selling book, Peter
Hmm.
Benchley, had it in his contract that he would get to write the first draft movie script.
Naturally, yeah.
So, yeah, yikes.
Yeah,
But Jaws was his very first novel, and he clearly got very lucky with that. But
definitely.
just because you can write a book doesn't mean you can write a screenplay.
Right.
He it's a difference. There's a difference.
Hmm.
But he had no idea what he was doing. So even though everyone agreed his script totally sucked, they were already behind schedule, so they had to start production.
Mm.
So wouldn't be the first time though a shitty dialogue entered Hollywood. Like I just remember like looking through. I don't know. I was watching this movie the other day. Actually, X-Men. I was watching the X-Men movie,
Which one?
and
There's about 5 of them.
well, it's the
The first
it's
one?
when they're like, "Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?" The same
Mm.
thing that happens to everything else. Like, then why did you pick a toad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought something unique happens to the toad, but it's like, nope, same thing as everything else. Like, it's just shitty dialogue. You know what I mean? But
Ah,
like Hollywood has a ton of it, so it's not a huge thing, but I do feel like it could really ruin a movie. You know what I mean? When you have a really good plot, you have really good things in it, and then you have like really, really crappy dialogue. You know what I mean? I just feel like, but it's just Hollywood's just filled with movies that have good stories, but the dialogue like makes no sense.
So,
But
John, then
I'm sorry.
what did they do then? I mean, you and I know a lot about crappy dialogue. So, what did Spielberg do? Like Anurada says, he's got a story, but he doesn't really have a script. What did he do?
They improvised. It was like kind of like in Casablanca. I think a lot of that when they filmed Casablanca, a lot of that was improvised as well. Even though I think the writer won like an Academy Award for the best screenplay or something. But I mean,
well, it was based on a stage play, a produced stage play.
Yeah, it was based on but I seem to remember in my faulty aging memory, that them having to improvise a lot of the dialogue in that, and also I think that they were kind of flying by the seat of their pants. I mean, they were like,
Right.
If they were writing any dialogue, they were writing it like the night before.
Right.
Damn, that's crazy.
But a lot of the best lines in that movie were improvised in Jaws.
Yeah, the bigger boat line was an improv that Roy Scheider came up with. I just saw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, all three of them. And I think a lot of the comic relief things, that Richard Dreyfuss did, like those were all improvised.
Yeah, it helps to be a cocaine addict, but yeah.
Yes.
You get a lot funnier then.
Hold on, let me say, I got something to say.
So, and it helps to be an alcoholic like Robert Shaw.
Yeah, exactly.
He can be that kind of gruffy old fisherman, and
Yeah,
really
we're going to talk about that a little more later. Yeah,
I don't want to jump the gun on that.
Yeah. So the elephant in the room, I mean, the shark in the room, was actually the shark. And no one sat down to figure out how. So when they bought the book, no one sat down to figure out how are we going to do this shark? Because real sharks don't grow to be 25 feet long. That was sort of made up. And you can't apparently train a shark like a dog or a horse or some other kind of animal. So what did they do, Anurada?
Well, I think the Megatron is bigger than 25 feet.
The Megatron?
What is it, Megalotron or Megatron? Like that recent movie?
Megalodon,
yeah.
The Megalodon, yeah.
The one with the Rainn Wilson, the guy from The Office.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys see that movie?
Is it a real animal or a dinosaur?
No, it's a shark.
Oh, it is a shark. Okay.
And he's like bigger than 25 feet. But that movie was, I think they were trying to go for another Jaws-y type thing, but whatever. But anywho's.
Well, I'll cut that out so we don't blow your stuff here.
Wait, what do you mean?
What you're talking about? You're talking about the shark.
I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about
literally.
Anurada was going to explain how they achieved the practical effect of.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, good.
So Bruce was actually the shark's name in the movie, and it's funny because isn't Bruce the shark's name in Finding Nemo? Bruce.
I think it is.
Isn't he like an Australian? Doesn't he have an Australian accent?
Yeah.
Bruce. So that's really funny, but that's I thought it was really cool because Steven Spielberg named Bruce after his lawyer, Bruce Raymer, who, spoiler alert, he actually looks like a shark. Have you ever seen this guy's face? He like literally looks like a shark. It's hilarious.
We'll have to put that in the video version then. Yeah, picture Bruce Raymer.
Isn't that, either he took it as a really big compliment or he took it as like a huge insult. Like, yeah, I'm going to put you in the movie. You're going to be the shark, But, so I thought that was interesting. 3 full-sized mechanical sharks were built for the film. 1 full-body version, 1 for right-side views and 1 for left-side views because, the shark didn't like certain angles. So they created different sharks for that. No, but I thought that was interesting. Like literally, they blew $1.5 million to build these sharks. That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of dough in $1975.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money
with
for
a new
plastic
freaking with a new freaking producer
Yeah.
or whatever
Director.
and
Yeah.
director, and
Yeah.
you're spending $1.5 million for that time. Like, they had a lot of faith in this guy, so that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So now with the shark himself, with Bruce, who's, spoiler alert, that's actually the name of my car. My car's name is Bruce Wayne. But anyways,
Oh,
Bruce
wow.
was, yeah, so we call him Brucey. But
Brucey.
Bruce was powered by pneumatic mechanisms, which actually often malfunctioned in the saltwater environment of the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
So, I don't know what's scarier, a shark coming at you or a shark that looks like he's freaking the fuck out coming at you. Like malfunctioning and stuff.
Right. Sort of an out of control robot just coming your way. It just happens to have razor sharp teeth.
A horror film within a horror film.
You're going to turn that thing off. Turn
Like,
the thing off.
is he okay?
It's programmed to kill people. What?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so couple of things that needed to be, solved. The salt water actually caused the shark's wiring, hydraulics, and skin to corrode. So add that. Not only is this shark freaking the hell out, he's also rusty. Like, got brown crap all over him. But it also led to frequent malfunctions and delays. So not only was the movie already behind, then you have more delays because Sharky over there keeps getting brown and freaking out and all that stuff.
Right.
Richard Dreyfuss, who plays Matt Hooper in the movie, tells the story that they would all be ready to shoot and the camera would be rolling, and then all of a sudden you would hear on walkie-talkies everywhere, the shark's not working, and then there would be a delay. So interesting stuff that movie actually went through. It took almost as long as my damn deck to get done, just saying.
And cost about the same amount of money, right?
True that.
What do you mean $12 million for a deck?
Well, it was the umbrella, the umbrella that goes over it.
Well, we put a stain on it. Come on. It'll be good for 6 months, I swear. So, John, with the shark not working most of the time, Spielberg obviously had to improvise in order to make any forward motion whatsoever. So what did he do?
Well, it depends on the scene.
Yeah.
That, for instance, when Chrissy is skinny dipping and he's the shark's first victim, they had, she was in a harness and they had, there was 2 ropes tied to her harness, kind of pulled in different directions. And, this one crew, like crew A, would pull the rope in one direction, then crew B would pull the rope in another. And so you just have this, that's why her head and shoulders would just be like going back and forth and which is a heck of a lot scarier. That's like this weird, like demonic possession kind of thing, as opposed to just actually seeing a shark, mechanical or otherwise, doing the pulling.
Yeah, you don't even see a fin. So, I mean, obviously you saw the movie poster when you walked in, but I mean, there's nothing that sort of in the thing that would suggest that it was necessarily a shark. It could have been a giant jellyfish or something, could have been anything, but you're right. I mean, that's what made it so scary, is it's just her moving through. Of course, her acting, I think, like, she's, oh God, please save me. I mean, it's just like scary as hell.
Yeah. But that's
that guy's taking his sweet time freaking getting to the water. I'm coming. Thinking he's gonna get lucky.
I just can't walk.
Doing push-ups, thinking he's like about to have his moment.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many instances. Well, you don't actually get a glimpse of the shark or a really good sighting of the shark until 55 minutes into the movie. So everything up until then is very suggestive and just leaves a lot to the imagination. And that's why it's so damn scary. And it's probably reasonable to say that if he had not been having all those mechanical problems with Bruce, and they would have done the testing and gotten the thing up and working and been able to show the shark from the get-go, it would not have been nearly as good a film.
Yeah.
Built that.
Just aesthetically.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
forced him to be more creative, in other words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
built that suspense, I think.
I mean, even after you get a glimpse of him, like you said, like there's, the first time you get a glimpse of him is when Roy Scheider is throwing the chum in the water, and then he only for 2 seconds, comes up and then goes back down again. And then you don't see him again until like the end of the movie. But there's all that business with the barrels, and and they're chasing him around and shooting him with barrels and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, you really felt like something was going on, even though it was a guy in a motorboat off camera pulling a bunch of barrels.
Yeah, because you're a well, see, this is
that was the shark,
Yeah, it all ties in with the original picture on the paperback book. Okay, you got the nude lady, she's swimming, and you have this shark the size of like a mobile home, about to just completely come up, and she's unaware, and the shark is going to swallow her.
Yeah, the proportions were a tad exaggerated, right? But
but still, it's just like when you're looking out at the ocean, it's like you don't know what's below the surface. It could be anything, and it really, that's Steven Spielberg's like camera work really fed into that fear and phobia of the unknown, of what's underneath the surface that you can't see.
Right.
Agreed.
So on your auto, we'd sort of mentioned substances earlier. So I mean, this was they're shooting in 1974. This is the era of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and they're shooting in a summer resort community, Martha's Vineyard, which was already kind of a party town. People come there to have fun. When we did the Wizard of Oz episode last year, you admitted that you would have partied with the little people back in 1938.
Hell yeah.
You remember that. So I'm just wondering, so what do you think about these guys? I mean, did controlled substances cause any problems on the shoot?
I mean, apparently I feel like it helped him. Like you got the one guy, because there's no lines, so clearly you have to be kind of out of your mind and like ready to like think on the spot to like, come up with something cool to say. So you got this one guy freaking, what was he? He was doing like coke or whatever it is.
Yeah, Dreyfus was doing coke, yeah.
Yeah, so he's coming up with some cool lines, and you got Drunky Drunk over there coming up with some cool lines. So I feel like freaking, if anything, it probably helped him. You know what I mean? But I don't know, like Robert Shaw, who brilliantly plays Quint when sober, but maybe when a little drunk, who knows? Sometimes had to be propped up by 2 grips, as he couldn't even stand on his own. So I can see that being an issue. You know what I mean? Like when you take it too far and then you like overindulge, then it becomes too much. But I feel like just
Can we do
at
it
the
again,
beginning,
only without slurring the lines, please?
Oh, sorry.
Well,
what was
and
that?
that's the thing. I mean, this guy I was reading a book about Robert Shaw, actually, stumbled across it.
Oh shoot, sorry guys. This mic is sorry. John, can you say what you were saying? I missed it because my mic kind of
I was just saying, Mr. Shaw, could you please do that again without slurring the lines, please?
without peeing in the water.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, this guy was a professional alcoholic. I was reading a book about him. I mean, he would during that shoot, he'd start drinking right when he got up, like at 5 a.m. and drink all day long. So, I mean, I think he might have been swaying, but he wasn't really slurring. I mean, because he was literally drunk every single day, all day.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't just on that movie, too. I mean,
no. Apparently that was, and he died tragically at 51, which is just like 3 years later.
Damn. I guess they saved money on him if he ever got bitten by the shark, because they didn't need to show the shark swaying him. He could just sway himself.
So, John, I know you mentioned the ocean before, but maybe we cut that out and then do it here, or vice versa. I don't know. But I'm going to just ask you the question. You can talk about it again, and then we'll choose which one's best. Okay.
Okay.
So, John, the ocean caused all sorts of problems filming on the open ocean. Why did they choose to shoot it that way anyway?
Spielberg just wanted that authentic look and feel that he didn't think that you were going to get on a back lot or in any kind of a controlled environment.
Right. Like a studio tank.
Right.
Where they shot like Moby Dick and Lifeboat and stuff like that. You can tell it's a tank.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they could have done, and they could have gotten a lot further with like a back projection and, like you said, shooting in a giant swimming pool, which some scenes were. I think that, the head coming out of the hull in the boat, that was shot in, what's her name?
Verna Field's swimming pool.
Yeah.
But
no, it's all of the authentic feel of the isolation, and literally, if you're in the middle of the ocean, there's nowhere to go. You might be miles from dry land, and that was the way that they captured that feeling. It just added to the phobia of what's underneath the surface of the water.
Right. Okay. So, excuse me, Anurata, we had said earlier that Spielberg was completely out of his league on this one, and that there wasn't any script and the actors were improvising, blah, blah, blah. So Spielberg just ended up shooting like everything he could think of from every possible angle, hoping that the editor would save his ass. So you want to talk a little bit about her?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, she was pretty incredible. Like he shot over 1 million feet of film in total desperation. Literally just like shooting random crap, and then his middle-aged, chain-smoking editor, Verna Fields, somehow found a movie in this mountain of whatever, right? So actually, Spielberg today, to his credit, gives her sole credit with saving the movie, because she literally dug through all that footage and put something together. So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and she won the Academy Award for editing, and which is, at that time, it was pretty incredible for a woman to win an Academy Award for anything other than acting, other than Best Actress, right?
Yeah.
They just didn't have any, there weren't female directors or editors or cinematographers or anything. There are now, but back in the day, it was very unusual. So anyways, I mean, we've been, talking for the last few minutes. We've been shit talking every aspect of this production. And, I'm reminded of the movie, which came out only 5 years after this one, called Heaven's Gate, which John may remember because I may have seen it with you and some other people from high school or something. But you probably don't remember it on your own because it was the biggest flop in the history of movies.
Oh, it was before my time.
Yeah. It was called Heaven's Gate. You may have heard people, sort of refer to it like, because it destroyed United Artists Studio. It absolutely destroyed the studio. So it was just the biggest flop ever. And people thought this was going to be a flop too, just because everything was going wrong. And of course, now in hindsight, unexpectedly did have a extremely happy ending for the studio. Didn't it, Bernice? Okay, so now she's going to talk a little bit and then more exposition. So Anurata and John, at its heart, this is a monster movie, pure and simple. So it is that. But it also owes a great deal to like the literary classic Moby Dick. And it's considered to be very artistic and thoughtful in its character-driven style, and a lot of that's the improv. But what do you guys think? I mean, is it a good movie or is it just a thriller, a Frankenstein movie?
I feel like it's a very interesting movie. I think it was a good movie because it played on so many different things, right? You have the fear, you have all those things kind of added into it. Probably, um, scare the crap out of people. They probably didn't go to the beach much, you know what I mean? So maybe kill tourism a little bit. But like, I just feel like overall, with so much working against it, I feel like this is just another one of those movies that we can put in our list that everything was going wrong, but something went right. You
Yeah.
know, it
Yeah.
was good.
What about you, John? Good movie, bad movie, just a flick?
I think again, that was like this was the movie that without which I wouldn't have been like remotely interested in trying to write music for movies. I mean, to me, this was like one of the most well-crafted movies ever made.
Well, talk about the music a little bit, John. You're a professional composer for all the people out there that haven't heard this so much, and you've got CDs and you've composed for films and TV and blah 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 blah. But so, what is it about the music? What makes it so iconic?
Well, it does three things very well. Okay, it serves the characters and the story and the tone scene by scene. It's also good standalone music. I mean, if you listen to it and you're not watching the movie, this is good. This is music that's interesting enough that you remember it, and it can kind of knock around in your cerebrum, and still, I mean, you enjoy it. It's not like it's not like Baby Shark, or something. Like you're trying to get. It's not something you're trying to get. But yeah, it's like you don't mind it bouncing around up there because it's such good music, and it serves the edit as well. It's like it serves three masters flawlessly, and that's just the music. The film itself is so well made. Even if it had other music, it'd still be just a brilliantly made movie. The thing is, though, that a really good movie is not necessarily financially successful, and that's the thing. I loved Heaven's Gate. I really did. So it just goes to show that you can't go by what I think.
Okay, that's it, everybody. We're tearing this one up.
That's all right.
Well, it's just block John out. It's like or Joe. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's like look at Orson Welles movies. I mean, like, did they make a lot of money? I don't know. They didn't, but they're considered some of the best movies ever made. And that's the way I feel about Jaws. I just feel like in terms of the craft of filmmaking, it's like the pinnacle example of what to do, music aside, without even the music.
Mm-hmm. So Anurata,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What Anurata was saying, sometimes there's this element called luck and timing. We were talking about John Williams, and actually John Williams first worked with Spielberg on Sugarland Express, and Spielberg was trying to get Billy Goldstein, who did the music for Duel, and Billy Goldstein couldn't do it because it was like he was in the middle of Sweeps Week and he was busy doing television scores. He just said, I can't do it. And so they got this they didn't know who John Williams was, but that if it hadn't been for that kind of chance coupling, there wouldn't have been the same music for, Close Encounters. Williams wouldn't have been introduced to George Lucas. There would be no Star Wars score. There would be no conductor of the Boston Pops. There would, it's like everything that came just was started from some chance, like, oh, this guy can't do it. Let's get this other guy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Spielberg, a young director. Everybody was young. The only guy who was old was Robert Shaw, but everybody was kind of young and inexperienced. Well, John Williams, he had a lot of experience.
And the producers were old guys. or at least in their 50s and 60s. I mean, they had experience. They had just done The Sting, so they were not, and that had been a hit movie and won an Academy Award and everything. But but it was just like, they were like the daycare, teacher or whatever. So,
Yeah.
so, is there anybody on the set who's sober? Anyone? Anyone? Actually, Spielberg was a nerd. He was just well known for not like, oh, can I? Oh, I have a sip of beer, but that's okay. That's all I need.
Oh boy, this
And you
is
know
the
what?
strong one.
He was the one. At the end of the day, he was the one who seriously needed a drink.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
He was the one who suffered the most.
Yeah.
Like the shark malfunctioned again, Steve. Ah,
Well,
goddamn,
and he
just
was
give me that.
in fear of being fired constantly, by his own admission. So,
Or just having the movie pulled, just having the studio say, "That's it, wrap it up,
Right.
come back home."
right now the insurance. So I was reading. So Verna Fields talks about this. So remember Chief Brody's wife,
Lorraine Gray?
the actress is Lorraine Gray or something.
Yeah.
Okay. She, in real life, she's the wife of the head of Universal Studios, Sid Sheinberg. So,
Oh damn.
you think he's going to shut down his wife's movie? How did she get that job in the first place? So,
That's good.
called insurance.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, nothing against her. I thought she was great. And I
Yeah.
thought she was gorgeous in the movie, man. It's the first time I, said, oh my God, she's so gorgeous. But anyways, Anurata, is there anything else you wanted to say? You had sent me a text. I thought there was going to be, I thought you were going to be a bit more of a potty mouth, but
I said freak the fuck out.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
So I want to talk about
Okay.
how there's always a secret hidden message in horror movies. And
Okay.
it's
In all
Really?
horror movies?
yeah, literally almost all horror movies, almost all gory movies, your libido will be your end.
Well, right. It's always like
It's always
teenagers have sex
horny
and then they get killed,
teenagers.
right? Okay.
Yeah, it's always freaking horny teenagers doing stupid shit, and then they get chopped up, sawed, cut, freaking chummed up by a shark.
Well,
If
the
you really think
teenagers
about
in
it.
this one never actually got, he could never even keep up with her. So they never had sex. And then the second person to die was that 12-year-old boy, who goes out and, on
Oh,
his little
well,
raft.
I mean, besides him, but I'm talking about the chick. So,
Yeah,
so
what
you
did-
know how
What
she's
did he
skinny
do
dipping.
wrong?
What about Quinn?
The
Quinn's the
12-year-old.
big guy who dies at the end. The guy that fucking swallows him whole.
Yeah, I know. Well,
No,
quit
but not
playing with
every
yourself,
attack.
kid. Jeez.
Were Robert Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss like fooling around in the cabin when Roy Scheider wasn't looking?
Yeah. But I want us to really think about that.
I caught Alex Kinger in his bedroom with a Playboys. No wonder he got eaten by a shark.
If
Hey,
you
Hoopa, come here, Hoopa.
if you honestly think about almost all horror movies, there's at least one or two scenes
Yeah.
where the stupid ass teenagers want to try to do something nasty, and then they end up getting, getting nastied. You know what I mean? They end up getting chopped up, anything. Just think about it. You know what I mean? She's skinny dipping. This
Yeah.
poor guy just literally is so excited he can't even help himself. He doesn't get to the water in time. You know what I mean? And then you think about other horror movies where this has happened. The Terrifier, which I would not recommend, but same thing there. Well, what is it? Wrong
So
Turn.
are you saying
The
she
Wrong
would not
Turn
have been
series.
attacked if she had been wearing like a conservative one-piece bathing suit?
No, she wouldn't have been attacked if she wasn't trying
As
to
opposed to
freaking
naked?
get
From the
all nasty in the
1920s.
water.
Okay.
She would not have been attacked if she wasn't trying to get all nasty up in the water. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Incidentally, along those lines, the
Okay.
book was much nastier than the movie. The movie was like.
Did the guy make it in time in the water?
No. Well, in the book, for instance, Hooper has an affair with Chief Brody's wife.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, they flirted a little bit at the table, but they cut out all the subplots. Plus, like the mayor was involved with the mafia, like the Boston mafia. I mean, there was all kinds of subplots, and Steve and Carl said, you know what? Let's just stick with the shark. Okay.
Yeah,
Boom.
and
Let's stick with one
also
plot.
yeah, and
The shark's
actually,
the main attraction.
Yeah, exactly.
and Hooper gets killed in the book.
Right. He get in the cage, right? He doesn't get away.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Hooper, don't wait for me. Come on, Hooper, tie it off. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, so guys, I guess that's it then. Thank you very much, both of you. Anurada, of course, you're my my adorable, lovely co-host. John, we don't see you enough, but thank you so much for coming in on short notice and helping us out with this. And thank you for all the great music you do. And okay, guys, that's it. We did it. Put another one in
That's
the
a
book.
wrap.
Woo!
Woo! Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.